Hi, and welcome again to Young at Heart. I'm your host, Tammy, and today I'm here with Shanna Paddock and Sandra Smith. Both are involved with the Walk to End Alzheimer's. Last year, when I started at the Council on Aging, it was my first time really understanding what the walk was about, and we even participated. We'll also have a team this year, hopefully bigger than last year. But I'd like to welcome you both to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. And Shanna, if you could just tell me a little bit about yourself.
So I'm Shanna Paddock. I work for the Massachusetts, New Hampshire Alzheimer's Association. Our headquarters is in Watertown, Massachusetts. However, I work out of the Watertown and Rainham office, so I'm responsible for 3 of our 11 walks, basically covering everything southeast, southwest, down to the Cape and Islands for our chapter.
And Sandra.
And thank you for having us again,
Sure.
Sandra Smith. So I work for REMAX, but I've been involved with the walk. I'm a co-chair this year, but I've been involved with the walk for about 7 or 8 years. Love being involved in it. Had it firsthand personally and professionally, so it's just good to get involved, and I always need more volunteers.
So Shanna, if you could just tell us a bit about the Alzheimer's Association.
Yeah, sure. Well, our vision is a world without Alzheimer's, and we're part of the National Alzheimer's Association, and basically we provide free programs and services to family, friends, and those with the disease throughout the journey of the process. So we have a 1-800 number, which is staffed by a clinician 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's a great resource, and a lot of the times it's a gateway into the association. So I could be at home and maybe my mother's acting weird or having some behavioral issues at 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't know what to do. I'm at my wit's end, and I really need some help. So I call the 1-800 number, and I'm able to talk to someone. We do staff it in the Watertown office from 9 to 5. After hours, it does get kicked back to our national office, but then you'll be called back in the morning by a member of your local chapter to keep it localized. But we're always there to support people, and that's one of our free services as well. We also provide care consultations, and that's for the person with the disease, but also their family, and it's about creating a plan. It could be you just have a recent diagnosis and you're just so overwhelmed with so many questions. You get to come into our office or over the phone and have a conversation and create a short-term plan, a long-term plan, whatever the needs are for you and your family. We're able to work with families who may have, a couple siblings in state or out of state by teleconferencing them in. So it's a great resource, and that too is with an expert in dementia to be able to really kind of provide that extra support through that journey of a loved one. We also have programs and services. So we have our educational programs from anything from essential living, but also for those with the disease. So what is it like to live with Alzheimer's? What can you expect? That's one of our 3-stage programs. But things from learning, legal and financial. How do I set this plan? I've been diagnosed. How do I make sure that, my estate and my will and all of my financials are all set for my family? Do I have the right paperwork and things like that? Just making sure that you're set up for the future as well. Then we also have our ALS Talks. And that's a new program this year that we're really excited about. We've done a lot of our research forums in the greater Boston area, and what our constituents have said is we would love to hear some local research, and so each one of our regional offices is hosting an ALS Talk this year. And our regional offices are in Rainham, as I said earlier, Worcester, Springfield, Massachusetts, and Bedford, New Hampshire. And so we'll be able to have a lot of research and be able to touch more folks in the area, regional areas, and not just the greater Boston, as we continue to spread awareness about what the association does as well.
Can a person call prior to a diagnosis and get information as well, or is it strictly for after somebody's been diagnosed with dementia
Absolutely.
or Alzheimer's? Yeah,
absolutely. If you have that question, maybe you're noticing some symptoms and you have questions of maybe you have a cognitive impairment or memory loss and you want some of that help. Absolutely, we can be able to talk a little bit what's going on, make sure get you a referral so that you can see your doctor, help prepare you with some questions to ask if you need that, and kind of walk you through the process of what are those next steps that you need to do as you begin to question them too. And another great program for that is Know the 10 Signs. So we know that early diagnosis and being able to educate people, whether it's just about the disease or symptoms or just kind of behaviors to look out for themselves and their loved one, or even, it could be a coworker. We see it in so many places.
Right. And is one of the goals of the organization, I've had some home health care agencies on here as well, is it to focus more on allowing the families to keep the person in the home longer? Is that part of the mission, or is it just preparing them for whatever may come? If, somebody in my family was diagnosed, do you sit me down and say, okay, you might be able to take care of them for a year, but after that they might need a skilled nursing facility?
No.
Or is the support that's available to help them keep them at home for as long as they can?
Our support is directed for the family. We want to give you all the necessary tools and resources. We're not going to tell you what to do with your loved one. We want to make sure that you're educated so that you can make that decision that's the best for your loved one. We're not going to tell you, yes, assisted living. We're not going to tell you this or that. We just want to make sure that all your options are available and be able to provide you that support during that journey.
Okay. And one of the other questions I had, and I know we touched upon it briefly before the show, the keyword brain health popped out at me when I was going through the website just today, I'll admit it. And some of the things that it said can help you to possibly deter or put off any kind of dementia or a diagnosis of Alzheimer's has to do with how you eat, how you think, what you participate in. And those will all help somebody. I mean, I just thought that was a really easy point. Everybody can do that. So
Right, absolutely. I'm not a clinician, but healthy lifestyles and just brain health in general. So yes, being active, eating healthy, but we see that not just for Alzheimer's, but a wide array of diseases as well. So absolutely.
Okay. And then you mentioned that there is an 800 number. Do you want to share that with us?
Yeah, the 1-800 number is 1-800-272-3900. And like I said, it's staffed 24/7. It's such a great resource. It's such a good gateway into the association. They're able to give referrals, support, information. They connect you to things like our support groups as well, or the walk, which we'll talk about in a few minutes.
And everything that's raised, I saw also that a large percentage does go right into the research and the education, and I think it said 78% on the website. I could be wrong, but which is also a great number to attach to that. So we can switch over to the walk now, unless you had other things that you wanted to touch on.
No, we do. Our great the research is so important, and the Massachusetts New Hampshire chapter is so fortunate that our Ride to End Alzheimer's program, about 98% of that, all funds raised from that particular one, it's research restricted, and it's one of the only few programs like that in the country. So it's very, very exciting that we're able to host that in our chapter, where we do lots of other fundraising things that go towards our mission of care, support, and research, but that particular event just really solely focuses on the research aspect.
Okay, and I want to make sure to mention the website that I was looking stuff up on was alz.org, and that had a lot of information about what dementia is, the difference between dementia and being diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and things like that. So I just wanted to make sure we got that out there as well.
Now that she mentions that as well, maybe we should bring it up, like the Raynham location, for instance.
Absolutely.
What types of resources can people get there?
Absolutely. We have several staff in the Raynham office. So Jennifer Hoadley is our regional manager, and she is able to do education programs and care consultations, as well as Brooke Patterson, who can do care consultations. And so it's really calling that 1-800 number and getting in touch with us, and we're able to meet with you right in that location that's close to the South Shore. And it's also convenient for those on the Cape as well. So
that's fantastic. And do you know if they come out to the senior centers or other places to do education?
We do. We're always looking for opportunities in the community to partner. As much awareness that we can bring to our communities.
I'll be calling the 800.
Right.
Absolutely.
I thought. I mean,
absolutely.
There's so much, and there is training that they offer, as well as support groups there and whatnot. But why not utilize that and bring more awareness? Because that's the whole goal.
Absolutely. So the more awareness and education we can bring to our communities, the better off we are, and more awareness, and hopefully we can all live in a world without Alzheimer's.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Switching over to the walk,
Yeah.
I thought it was really important to have you guys on here about the walk because, as I said, I only learned about it last year, but it's been going on for how many years now?
Do you know the exact number?
I don't.
All
I
right,
think
let's
it's like
ballpark.
over 10.
Over 10
Yeah,
years.
over 10. I mean, I've been involved in it for 10 years on the South Shore.
Right.
I mean, but I think it's been going maybe longer than that. It is the signature event of the Alzheimer's Association, the Walk to End Alzheimer's. You know, Plymouth outgrew its location. It used to be at the plantation. Now we're on the waterfront the last few years because it just continues to grow. The walk overall is in 650 communities nationwide. So, but in our chapter, the South Shore Walk, which is in Plymouth every year, is the second largest walk out of the Mass New Hampshire chapter. Boston always beats us. So, so we're trying to, not only awareness for Alzheimer's, but grow the walk to get more people involved. Because there's so many people I'm sure you meet in your day-to-day, and I've met, and Shannah, that aren't even aware that that we have it, and that there's things that are involved. So we do have a committee on the South Shore, and that's what I'm co-chair on and have been involved in, that helps put that together. And there's people from, family members that have dealt with it personally, people in the healthcare field, people in whether it's assisted livings or nursing homes or just loved ones that are going through it that can be involved, because obviously the more many hands make light work. So, our goal is to bring more awareness and get more people involved. And the committee consists of a lot of things as far as logistics of how we set it up and, what we'll have there for people. There's a great ceremony that goes on the day of it that, we have 4 flowers that represent the 4 colors. So, it's people that have gone through it, advocates of it that work with it, people that have been affected with it themselves, and what's the 4th?
They've lost someone.
Yeah, they've lost someone
That
to
wasn't
Alzheimer's or
amazing.
dementia. So it is very,
It was
so
moving.
you've seen it. It's
I
exactly
took part of it
moving.
last year. And
Yeah,
it was
and just
incredible.
to see it and people raise that or be part of it. And, I unfortunately, I lost somebody to dementia, my father, a couple years ago. So going through it firsthand is extremely emotional. But even not seeing everybody that's so affected by it, but coming together as one and trying to make that awareness, it's extremely moving. So it's a heartwarming day, but you feel like you're doing something good and you're there getting your word out. So
It's absolutely amazing to see these thousands of flowers being held up, and usually there's a nice little breeze down on the waterfront, so they're pinwheels, so they move around. But the call to action and to see the community of the South Shore really trying to take a stance and really believe in our mission and want to help us, fight for it and take action is so powerful, so moving.
yeah.
really
There's usually
was.
not many
I'm getting
dry
goosebumps too
eyes.
now.
Many dry
yeah.
eyes
Well,
in
just
the
you remember
crowd.
that and you see
Yeah.
that, and it is, yeah. So last year we had over 4,000 walkers, and we're hoping to grow that this year. I think we had over 200 teams, 204 teams last year. I mean, anyone can make a team. It takes 2 people to make a team. So when people say, I
had
don't have a
3.
team, right?
Yeah.
And so they,
That's a great example of it.
right,
yeah.
and I've been actually with, I used to be in the home care field as well too, so I was always with that team. But last year, when I went back to real estate, I had a smaller team too, mostly family members, but that doesn't matter. You're there and you're making a difference. And this walk is unique too, that there's not a minimum that you have to raise so much money. I mean, if you want a t-shirt, you have to raise at least $150, which is pretty easy to do nowadays.
Right.
And everything is online and so easy that it's just a click of the button that you can send to everybody, social media wise or whatnot. But back to like, it just takes 2 people to make a team, and if you can get there and sign up and you do it online and you can do as much ahead of time. When we have great families and great teams that actually, have fundraisers all throughout the year that are raising funds for it, making awareness, that show up in different, team outfits and colors. And it's great to see that aspect. So we just encourage anybody that wants to get involved. You can join other teams. You can just, make your own small team and sign up, because we want to continue to grow. We want to try to, bring it up. What did we make last year? We raised over $333,000 for care support and research. for Alzheimer's, which is big. And again, we're
It
the
is.
second largest in our chapter, which is great.
Something I thought that I should mention, I like things that are easy. And oftentimes I'll hear, you know, oh, let's go in town and do a walk. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, you gotta get on the T and you gotta drive out there. And
Yeah.
it sort of turns me off, I'll be honest. It was so easy to participate. We went to Cordage Park, we
Yep.
got shuttled over to the walk, we got the shuttle back. It was fantastic.
Yeah, thank you for saying
Yeah.
that, because that's part of the committee that we have for it, is logistics like that. Like, we want to make it easy for people. So yes, we moved it to downtown Plymouth, and as we know, that it's hard to find parking there. So we have people and resources in the community who have volunteered that day and offer shuttle service. So park at Cordage, it's out of the way. It brings you there, drops
Yep.
you off, takes you right back. You know, people donate food, so there's, you know, snacks for you ahead of time. There's entertainment that's, you know, donated and provided, and you know, and there's also resources of information that's out there for everybody. You know, kids tent for kids to keep them involved. But yeah, thank you for bringing that up. But that's part of why we do that. But that's also, like, we love to have other people join our committee for other ideas. How can we make this better? What didn't work last year? What's a, you know, the only thing we wish we could control is the weather. We always seem to get rain. At least with setup, but you know, we'll
is
take
true.
it. We're still there. People still come out, no rain or shine, you know.
Yeah.
And I remember maybe 2 years ago, a gentleman who lost his wife to Alzheimer's had said that. I heard somebody complaining about the weather, and he's like, rain or shine, you walk. Doesn't matter if you have Alzheimer's, you still have it no matter what the weather is. So I'm here. She still had it every day of the year. So why should rain stop me? And it's like, you know, that's so true. You know, we're still here for a cause, you know,
Right.
for that reason, not because we don't want to get wet in the rain or something like that.
And we
But,
are a rain or shine event, so unless, you know, it's unsafe for us to be out there, we will be out there walking, because like that gentleman said, we have to take action, we have to fight for it. So
Yeah, and that was amazing too during, in the beginning, when family members or people that actually have Alzheimer's got up and spoke. There was a gentleman who spoke about how he was diagnosed and he knew he had it, but sometimes he'd forget something and he just wanted people to be patient with him. And I'm
Yeah.
getting goosebumps again. But
Yeah.
it was really moving that, for one, he would get up and just express
share his
himself
story.
with,
Yeah.
with everyone there. There were so many people.
Yeah, because we're seeing a lot of early onset dementia, and I think the gentleman you're referring to has the early onset.
Yeah.
We see that, yeah.
Yep.
So it is. You look at somebody like that. You know, same thing happened to my father. He got it at 62. Nobody expected that. And it's just little things. So people that can share their stories, you know, are just like the film that was just out, Still Alice. You know, people that can share those stories, that it's real and it's what people are going through. And I think that's what either motivates people to get involved or to feel that connection, to want to do more.
yeah, we need those stories, we need those unique opportunities, because we know, you know, this is the 6th leading cause of death. There are no survivors. You know, we see with other organizations, you know, the Stand Up to Cancer, where they can do benefit concerts with, you know, cancer survivors. Unfortunately, there's no prevention or cure or anything to slow down Alzheimer's currently. So it's really those voices of the early stage folks and their families, or anyone with the disease and their loved ones, being able to share them and get out. You know, we have a great story. Our top fundraising team is a gentleman who was diagnosed at 47. He had a 9 and 11-year-old, and obviously a couple of years later they're grown, but they're still young children involved. And you know, to be able to support that family through the journey, along, you know, through educations and, you know, support groups and stuff, it's just so important to hear their stories, get them heard, because we're seeing more and more of this. And the thing that we hear the most often is, had I known about the Alzheimer's Association. I lost my mother last year. What is this great organization? Had I known that you guys would have been there to help me. And so by the awareness, by growing the walk, by growing the committee, by having opportunities like this, we're able to educate folks in the South Shore. You know, Plymouth has a very large demographic of, you know, 65 and plus. How do we educate? It's not just the, you know, oh, grandma's old, so she's forgetting things. It's, we need to have a conversation and really see what's going on and to figure it out.
Is there, and I don't know if you can answer this, it just popped into my head, Is there a scenario that's better than another? Like if you have early onset and you catch it early, is there a way to prolong the progression, or are they not even there yet?
No.
I would say no.
Each case, every person is different. The disease does not affect one person the same, just because of our, our body, but just
And there's so many
how it
different
is. There's
kinds of
so-
dementia.
there's
Over
so
80
many
last
different-
I heard, but it could have changed by now. That was a few
80
years
kinds
ago.
of dementia?
Yeah, over
Really?
80 kinds of dementia, believe it or not. Yeah.
Wow.
And I heard that a few years ago from a
Yeah.
doctor, so I don't know if that's
So
increased.
it's not. I wouldn't say there's one way or another. It's each case needs to be addressed individually, and educated and supported to its own thing.
Got
But
it.
there are support groups out there. I mean, you guys probably have one at your COA, right?
We
Or
don't
do-
right
you
now.
don't right now?
Well, let me tell you.
Well, we can make that happen for you. But
Yeah.
I know all around there's support groups that, for the caregivers caring for them, because, they're the ones, they're doing their best, but they also need that support. So there's many of them available, and the resources that are online or through the association can help with that. But we also find out about that, as for the walk, it's not just the committee that puts that walk together, that, we need volunteers the day of, we need, information coming from different sources. We do phone banks to try to get people involved, and remind the past walkers to register again and sign up.
And say thank you. We want to recognize them for the work that they're doing, because without them, we wouldn't be raising all these funds and bringing all this
Right.
awareness. So.
And then did you also have a tent that had vendors in it from different healthcare agencies?
Yeah, we do. We have a sponsorship opportunity, so we're always looking to partner with other organizations in the areas and businesses to come on as champions of the causes. We do have opportunities. They begin at $1,000, all the way up to $10,000, $15,000, and we're able to really customize those packages to really meet the needs of that. And along with that, we have a great program called our Alzheimer's Workplace Alliance program. And it's a free tool. It's absolutely amazing. It takes about 3 seconds to sign up, and it provides, if I was the owner of, Sally's Shoe Shop, and I had 100 employees, I could sign up for this great resource and be able to feed all this information about Alzheimer's disease, how to support my loved one, any information you think possible, so many tools and resources, and give them free of cost to my employees, because I don't know how all my employees are doing. Chances are some of them are being touched by this disease, and they might not have felt comfortable yet to tell me that, but they can look independently and educate themselves and know that as their employer, their boss, I'm a champion of the cause and want to support them through the journey. So it's just a great ritual. Like I said, it's free. It takes about 3 seconds. It's awesome.
It's amazing how many things I don't know about.
Yeah,
and that's why I'm glad you're here, because I mean, you've mentioned like 3 different things that I'm going to implement when I get back.
Yeah, and we have we come and do like free lunch and learns as part of that program. So we'll come in, have a conversation maybe with HR or a manager, as your community the best, and really be able to tailor the education session to the needs of your specific employee group. And we're also able to offer these education programs too in multiple languages. So it's not, as we're seeing more and more diverse communities, we're able to service them. It's not just English speaking. We can do Portuguese, Spanish. If you call our 1-800 number, we are able to help you in 140 languages. So we're there to support everyone, and we really do pride ourselves on that we want everyone to feel like they are able to reach out to us and feel supported during this journey.
There was, and again, I'm not sure if I'm asking the right people, but we had someone come to the center one day, and they did a memory test with everyone to assess. They had said it was an Alzheimer's assessment. I'm not sure if it really was or if it really works, but do you guys do anything like that where you would come out and have an assessment done with people? Okay.
What we do is we are able to provide you with the resources in your local community for you to reach out.
That can do that,
Yeah,
which is fine. I was curious because it seemed very different to me that
Right.
that, I mean, worked, first
I mean,
of
they
all.
have those. They have those online too.
Yeah.
You know, and
There's
we
so
could all
many
take them
things
right
out
now.
there.
We would think that we have it. So there's so many different things like that. But there's different programs that really, you know, the mini mental tests, as they call it, only the doctor can, I think, do to determine that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there's so many things out there. But it's true too. Like you, back to brain health, you said in the beginning. You know, I mean, I've read that too. And I, you know, play word games every night just to try to keep my brain going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like anything I read about that, or coconut oil is great for you. You know what I mean? So put that in my smoothie every day. Like whatever.
Yeah.
Like there's little things like that I think will make a difference. Or they're looking at studies.
And there's so many different little knickknacks out there.
Yeah.
But really, it's, you know, just call us.
Yeah. Call the doctor.
Okay, we are beginning to run out of time. We have a couple minutes left. So was there anything that you guys had written down that you really wanted to hit that we hadn't hit upon yet?
I will just mention, like, so part of the walk, we do different celebrations too, not just the walk, but coming up May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, we have event at the Indian Pond Country Club in Kingston for all past walkers and team members. You know, last year we did it in Plymouth, and there was more than 80 people that showed up, so we had to move to a bigger location this year. So we really want to encourage, you know, and invitations went out, and we'll have a phone bank to call and invite people, but anybody that was part of the walk last year is invited to this celebration, and it's on May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, 6 p.m. at the Indian Pond Country Club. And then for new walkers, anybody that wants to join a team and become a new walker and find out more information, we have a big event for them in July at the same place, Indian Pond Country Club. The date will be coming out, but just, I don't know that we mentioned either, the walk is going to be, it's always in September.
The date would be good, right?
The date would be good. It's always in September, so it's one of the last 2 Saturdays in September. We don't have the exact date yet, but stay tuned for that,
Yeah,
and we'll definitely let you know so that you can pass it on and
Yeah.
post it, and we get posters out and information out, but yeah, I mean, if you know anyone that's involved, that wants to get involved, you know, they can contact Shanna or I, and we're happy to speak with them or do what we can, or
Wonderful.
Absolutely.
Well,
get a
thank you.
support group.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for
joining
having
me.
us
Yes,
today.
It's been great.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
We appreciate it.
And, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.